Good evening, students. This is your professor, Professor Strada, going over the Week 2 online folder and its content. I'm going to go ahead and start on the home page so that way students can see, you as a student can see how and where I got to specific places. First and foremost, homepage will always have announcements, recap videos, anything that would help with content. Left side will have announcements, right side will have my contact info. At any point, if you ever need instructions, let me know. As I sent out, today is Sunday, October 26th, as I sent out a couple hours ago, that the Week 2 online folder, Part 1 and Part 2 is now open. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. So if you're seeing this in live time, you're able to follow along with me. I am now going to show you what's in the Week 2 online folder. So this says Week 2, Part 1. Notice that we do have Part 1 and Part 2. Both parts serve in the Week 2 folder. This one says specifically that this one will have lecture slides. It also says to continue reading They Say, I Say. The They Say, I Say journal that was supposed to be in the Week 1 folder is now moved to this journal. It has a Week 2 due date. So it even tells you the Week 2 online folder, the They Say, I Say pages to read, and then the journal. I also continued in here with the JSTOR database, the Purdue OWL formatting link. Really helpful resource when it comes to citations of sources. The Hill College LibGuides. This is just the website that you can start off to find sources. The text itself, or They Say, I Say, is in a separate folder up here, so you do have to scroll to it. This folder is just saying that you do have to read within the folder. It continues on saying that there's specific pages for the They Say, I Say Journal 3. But then since I moved Journal 2, it's also right here too. There's also an academic integrity quiz. And there's also a PDF that I don't know if I've placed it in the Week 1 online folder or not, but it's really useful in trying to show how and where I got specific sources to build an essay. And it says that Week 2 online content is due Sunday, November 2nd. This just means that today it was opened up early since class for the Week 2 doesn't even start until Monday, October 27th. So I just opened it up a couple hours before. And then it does say that although the calendar to-do list on the home page says a different day, it just gives you the extra days that I do allow students to turn it in late. This just says that it is due by the syllabus date, which is Sunday, November 2nd. Okay. And because the exercises and the assignments do go by due dates, always know that it's always easier to just go by the checklist on what is right here going into its folder, so that way you have it. I'm now going to open up the Week 2 Day 1 folder. And we can open it up a little bit more so that you can zoom in. It is PDF form. You can always go back and exit out of it if you need it to be smaller. Okay, it just says the to-do list for this week or part is to go over the content and a little bit of a review on paraphrasing, quotes, and summarizing if you need that. It tells you exactly, almost word for word, what's within this folder. It does not say the updated journal number 2 of They Say, I Say on here. But the journal 2 They Say, I Say is included within this folder. Okay. And then a little bit of recap. These are just really helpful slides that talk about paraphrasing, summarizing, and quoting, and what's the difference between all of them when you're using direct quotes and quotes within a paper. So if I'm asking for specific quotes within a paper, you're more than welcome to use paraphrase, quotes, indirect quotes, or summaries. But you're still pulling from the quotes. And just to help you remember that the rule should be 70% of your own words should be filled in with the essay, while 30% can, or up to 30% can be quotes. Direct quotes in an essay have the speaker's exact words that are placed in quotation marks. And when you use direct quotes, use a quote that is powerful, strong, to make an impact within that sentence or paraphrase. Indirect quotes have no quotation marks since they don't use exact wording, but they still give credit to the author. Okay, and then as we should know already within MLA and within an essay, we do have a works cited page on the back. And this one right here just shows you a little bit of what a actual essay should look like. We have that first page. We have the name, the heading, professor's name, date, the date that it's due, all that good stuff. This is in Times New Roman. 1-inch margins on all sides. make sure that you capitalize what you need to capitalize if you can. Maybe page number your pages. We also know that the end of the essay, at the end, as you're writing your paper, there is a last page called the works cited. This is where you cite your work. You're only going to be citing one source because you are using a article or journal found in a scholarly journal to summarize and evaluate. So you're only going to be citing one. And the sources on the left side tab do give credit to how that should look like, but I also have resources in here. These are really good, helpful slides for you to go back and look at. It even tells you what they ought to look like at the very end. And then I'm going to continue forward into my folder. The They Say, I Say journal number 2 was moved from the week 1 folder to this one, so you have to click on it. I actually extended its due date so that way it's in the same due date as a week 2 due date. You're going to have to open up the folder, open it up, and then you'll start your new thread. I do have this example. Since people couldn't see this, I apologize for that. So you start a new thread and notice its due date, which is Sunday, November 2nd. You have to start a new due date, a new thread. So you have to go in and just like you did with the They Say, I Say number 1. Thank you for those that have already. And you are going to post. Then we continue forward. The JSTOR database link is here just specifically so that way, in case you need it from one folder to another, it does help you find sources. But I also posted on the essay instructions itself that because you are an online class, there may be databases or resources that you might have available to you that are not available to other people. If it is an outside source that you would like, please let me know immediately so I can check for its validity, as I would like to know that it is suitable for this assignment. This Purdue OWL website is extremely useful in regards to MLA citing. What does it do? What do I need to review? It shows you specifically on its website on the left side tab. If you click on some of these, it will show you how to cite specific sources for your essay. So even in regards to turning in an essay, at the very end, I do look for the most updated resource and citation. So I'm even going to go back to this to make sure that we follow this format. So when it comes to citing something off of a journal or a website, or specifically an article in an online journal, I simply went to the electronic sources tab. I'll click on that again. There's a bunch of ads. MLA Works Cited, Electronic Sources, Web Publications. I clicked on that and it brought me to this page. I scrolled down just a little bit so that way you can see that all the way down here with my mouse, and it brings me to, where is it at? An article in an online scholarly journal. So an article found in a journal will follow this specific citation. Last name, comma, first name, period. Title of the article, rather long title. The journal title itself. Okay. Perhaps the database that it was collected, EBSCO, scale, volume number, if there's one, number, the website or the DOI, and then the date that it was accessed. If you're only including specific pages, if it only appeared in page 1, then only include page 1. But if you use the entire article and within its entirety for the scope of your essay, then go ahead and do so. So notice this is also another one, so that you are more than welcome to look at that. That is just simply a sample. I closed out of that. I also included within this folder the website for the library databases. The Hill College Library has dozens of databases that you can go and find specific ones. I have heard from librarians that Gale EBSCO Host, Academic Search Complete, Blooms are really good ones that will help in finding something for you. I also have another They Say, I Say journal. When I click on the journals themselves, they do tell you specifically what pages you will be reading in the They Say, I Say folder. So specifically, if you are reading by the page in the book, it tells you, or if you're scrolling with your mouse on the text, it'll tell you. And then these simply tell you specific directions going in. It tells you its due date. To start a new thread, to click on starting a new thread, to save it. There's also an academic integrity quiz. This quiz is about 5 questions long, I believe. And it's just simply to guide you and remind us of things when it comes to plagiarism, quoting, all that good stuff. And you're seeing the instructor side for this, but I wanted to show you a little bit of what it looks like. So you'll be given 2 attempts with this time limit of an hour. So I take the highest grade. But make sure that you go back in and complete the assignments within its due date. This is the last document within the week 2 part 1 folder. This also was included in the week 1 part 1 folder. It just tells you what a works cited page will look like. It tells you how to go about finding a source if you were starting off with the Hill College Library Database Guide. How to go in to JSTOR if you need to go in. These websites are also found within your week 2 day 1 folder or part 1 folder. It shows you that JSTOR, if you automatically find a source, that it gives you the ability to go ahead and cite it for your work. So you would find the citation button and you would use the MLA version, copy and paste this entire thing, and you would put it in the back of your paper. Okay, and also tells you how to cite your source, the things that follow within any type of citation. So it even says, for example, if using an article found in an online journal, you follow the most correct version, which is one of these versions. But also if it's an online source, you put at the end of this citation entry a period and the date that it was accessed. So if it was accessed today, October 26th, you would write October 26, 2025. Okay. And so we give it a whirl. And this one says within the week 2 part 2 folder that there are specific things. It goes ahead and tells me that there is just a discussion board number 4, the MLA procedure. This discussion board is where you reflect on your prior or new knowledge of MLA. It says to read specific instructions and then to reply to people. It also includes the word count link, the JSTOR database link, the Hill College Library database link, the Purdue OWL formatting link, the same sources, I think about 4 or 5 sources from the same couple of weeks in their sections. They say, I say text, so you do have to go to the left side tab to read the They Say, I Say. The PDF opens up and you do have to scroll to read. It just takes me forever to open that back up. And then, where's it at? That is the journal for the They Say, I Say journal for. And I just want to make sure that I was looking at that. So discussion board 4, word count, JSTOR database, Hill College, Purdue OWL, the helpful guide, and then reading. Okay. It tells you that this still has a week 2 due date. So it is due Sunday, November 2nd. It tells you that the list for this has a due date Sunday, November 2nd, but you can still continue to submit things all the way up until November 6th. I just take off dates. This just says that there are no weekly lecture sites for this week or this particular day's folder. So the week 2 folder, part 2, does not have any lecture sites. Okay. And I just want to make sure that we were getting there correctly. This is the home page. You have to go into the content page to click and find these things, and you do have to click on them. One thing that I want to mention within this video is that many people are simply looking at the calendar itself and or this work to do. While those are great, but it doesn't tell you everything and it tells you different things at one time. I do encourage you to read these rather lengthy discussions and recap announcements as they are very helpful, but to go into the folders themselves, you do have to click on the folders like little modules. You do have to click on them to open them up. They tell you almost word for word what's in the folder as you are viewing it. So that way you can match. And if it's easier for you, just simply do it as a checklist. Just go down the list and make sure that you are doing them completely. And If at any point, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. There's also the messages right here. You are more than welcome to message me if you need to, but also to reach out to me instant message, via message. If you use one of these to email me, you are more than welcome to alert me on any questions or comments that you have. Have a good week, and if you have any questions, you can always reach me as others have been doing. My email is right here, aestrada@hopecollege.edu.